police say Jamie Kloss was reunited with her aunt at the hospital today. She's on the way to meet with the rest of her family tonight. Law enforcement believes that Jake Patterson only killed Jamie's parents so he would be able to kidnap her. They are still looking for his exact motive. Law enforcement did recover a shotgun from the house they say Patterson was holding Kloss in. They say it looks like a match for the gun that killed her parents. Police described the house as remote, but did say it had running water and electricity. Jamie did not have to make it far from that house to find neighbors, but police not yet releasing how she was able to escape or how she was kept in the remote home. The Barron County Sheriff says Patterson was out looking for Jamie when he was arrested just minutes after she found help, and that he went to great lengths to conceal his identity for the past 88 days. Patterson is due in court on Monday. Police say there is much more on this case that will be released then. Reporting in Barron County, Brendan Cullerton, CBS 58 News.
For the first time, we're seeing this aerial footage of the cabin where law enforcement says Jake Patterson kept 13-year-old Jamie Kloss against her will for 88 days. It's about 70 miles away from her Barron County home where her parents were killed and she was abducted. The big question is, why Jamie? The sheriff says Saturday he doesn't think Patterson had any connection to the Kloss family.
And I think this was truly a random act that was well planned out. So I think he picked Jamie, and that's obviously the million-dollar question is why, and we need to find that out, either by talking with Jamie or the suspect. But you know, when we find that answer out, we might be able to fill in some of the gaps of the investigation, maybe.
Nearly 3 years ago, Patterson worked for one day at the same Jennie-O turkey plant as Jamie's parents. But authorities say they don't think the Klosses and Patterson crossed paths there. The sheriff says Saturday they still have questions on how Jamie escaped and the condition she was kept in.
You know, we're looking at that, things like that, the receipts in his car, if there's any, and I don't know if there is, but we'll be looking for receipts on places he went the last 88 days. Did he take her anywhere? That's the pieces of evidence we're trying to collect right now.
As for the Kloss family, they'd like to see justice brought to Jamie's parents.
That'll be our next step. That'll be our next process I mean, that's my brother, and that's my sister-in-law. And we have all faith in the FBI and the sheriff and the DCI and the district attorney's office that justice will be served for them, absolutely.
My heart was going out to her, my heart was going out to her family.
In dire times,
In a stranger abduction, statistically, a child is murdered within 3 hours.
hope can keep us moving forward.
I absolutely had all the hope in the world for her.
Although missing persons advocate Alicia Kosakevich couldn't physically be part of the search to find missing 13-year-old Jamie Kloss, knowing the canine named Kozak in her honor had his nose to the ground lifted her hopes.
To know that Kozak was there, and that he has a magical sniffer, so he has a good chance of finding her, possibly.
That hope led to a miracle.
Oh my gosh, guys, the girl who's missing in Wisconsin, Jamie Kloss, she was just found safe.
When Kosakevich heard the news,
I'm so happy. Oh, miracles do happen.
88 days of holding out hope bubbled over into celebration.
I was so happy. I was jumping for joy. I was dancing.
The news also hit close to home.
And then it brought up overwhelming feelings of my own experience.
Her own experience connects her to Jamie. Kosakevich, too, was abducted at age 13 by an older man. She was taken by an internet predator in 2002 and found 4 days later by the FBI.
I am alive and here with you today.
Since then, she's worked with the group Protect to pass Alicia's law in states including Wisconsin.
It helps to fund the Internet Crimes Against Children task forces, like the group that helped to rescue me.
Now that Jamie has been rescued,
Beyond lucky, she's brave.
that miracle can bring hope too.
Jamie is a beacon of hope.
Kosakevich asks the community for the positivity and space she didn't always get after she came home.
So give her her respect and her privacy and time. Be nothing but supportive.
And for Jamie,
Now you're on the journey of healing. Take your time and don't let this define you. You are still the amazing, incredible girl that you were before this happened.
Jake Patterson and Jamie Kloss's families were both in court today. The feelings and the emotions inside that courtroom were tense. 21-year-old Jake Patterson appeared for the first time by video conference. He seemed calm for the most part, and when the judge asked him questions, he was very matter-of-fact.
Are you willing to waive the time limits for a preliminary examination?
Yes, sir.
In a criminal complaint, Patterson says he staked out the Kloss home several times before the kidnapping. Then on October 15th, Patterson says he approached the Kloss home and shot James Kloss in the head through his front door. Patterson entered the house to find Jamie and her mother hiding in the bathroom. He taped Jamie's mouth, hands, and feet and then shot her mother. Patterson then took Jamie to the trunk of his car and drove her to Gordon. He forced Jamie to spend entire days hiding under his bed. He arranged storage bins and weights around the perimeter of the bed so she couldn't escape. But on Thursday, Jamie was able to push away the weights and escaped outside, where a neighbor found her and called 911. Patterson says he was looking for Jamie when police pulled him over and arrested him.
The court has reviewed the criminal complaint, almost 12 pages in length. I've considered the allegations as set forth, the possible penalties, which include life imprisonment, and find that substantial cash bail is necessary to ensure the defendant's appearance in court. I will set bail at $5 million.
When Patterson's dad left the courtroom, we asked him if he had known about what was going on for the last 3 months, but he didn't say anything. Jake Patterson will be back in court on February 6th at 11 in the morning. In Barron, Jacqueline Abad, CBS 58 News.
Almost immediately after James and Denise Kloss were found dead and their 13-year-old was missing, the Wisconsin Department of Justice was called in to help with the investigation.
This is truly as bad as it gets for us.
13-year-old Jamie Kloss told investigators she heard the sirens just seconds after she was bound and dragged from her home. The suspect, Jake Patterson, even told detectives he yielded to sheriff's deputies racing to the Kloss home before continuing on the almost 80-mile drive back to his Gordon home with Jamie in the trunk. Meanwhile, the Barron County Sheriff called in help, including the Wisconsin Division of Criminal Investigation.
Within a matter of a couple hours, we can have 40 or 50 agents at a scene of a major investigation.
CBS 58 Investigates sat down with former Attorney General Brad Schimmel, who left office just 4 days before Jamie was found.
At what point did you stop thinking she might have been killed that night too?
Well, when she didn't turn up somewhere in a matter of a couple days, then we had great hope. But it didn't make sense to us even then that someone would commit 2 murders and then take her alive. That's something to slow you down. That's a liability.
And the more time passed, the more investigators believed Jamie was still out there, especially after hunting season when thousands of people took to the woods and no one found anything.
We believe somebody was holding her, which is not good. We knew that meant this was a very difficult life for her, but alive is a very good thing.
Meanwhile, Friday, the Douglas County District Attorney said he does not anticipate filing charges against Patterson for crimes committed during Jamie's captivity, saying he took into consideration things like the existence of other charges and victim-related concerns. Patterson already faces 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide in Barron County, which each carry a mandatory sentence of life in prison without the possibility of release.
And I'm assuming the charges that have been brought will be efficient, I hope, and it doesn't sound like he'll ever see the light of day again.
Inside the Barron City Library, where almost every newspaper on the shelf has the Kloss case on the front page, Representative Romaine Quinn reflects on both the relief and grief still echoing across his district.
Well, the hard part for our community is that a lot of us have cabins in Gordon or around Gordon, or that's where we all go to deer hunt, and it's, gosh, he's 3 miles from where we go visit.
But Jake Patterson wasn't on anyone's radar. He picked Jamie at random, which Schimmel says is rare, and he has no criminal record.
That is common, that individuals that prey on children don't have a lengthy history criminally, that we didn't hear of them before. The ones we know about, we're keeping our eye on.
Now the Barron community is focused on keeping an eye on Jamie, making sure she feels their support as she adjusts to her new normal.
People with that kind of strength of character, we can be hopeful that they can find some degree of healing.
Jake Patterson will be back here at the Barron County Courthouse for his preliminary hearing on February 6th. Reporting in Barron County, Kristen Barbarisi, CBS 58 News. Gut-wrenching details about James and Denise Kloss's final moments and the terror that Jamie endured all laid out in court today before the judge sent Jake Patterson to prison for the rest of his life.
County 911, where is your husband?
For the first time, we heard the desperate 911 call Denise Kloss made from the bathroom where she and Jamie huddled together as Jake Patterson tried to ram down the door. Some screams, then the line goes dead as the door gives way.
The nightmare of what they went through the early hours of that morning remains in my head every day.
During Friday's sentencing, the district attorney showed pictures, one underneath the bed where Patterson kept Jamie captive for 88 days, and the Kloss family asked the judge to sentence Patterson to the maximum.
My brother won't be able to walk down the aisle at a wedding day.
The most powerful words came from a letter written by Jamie. She says though she's still struggling and scared, Patterson did not break her.
He can't take my freedom. He thought that he could own me, but he was wrong.
Patterson spoke briefly, apologizing.
I would do, absolutely anything to take back what I did,
But the judge didn't buy it.
You are the embodiment of evil.
Ultimately, Jake Patterson got the sentence Jamie wanted, life in prison with no chance of release.
He can't ever change me or take away who I am. He can't stop me from being happy and moving forward with my life.
Immediately after sentencing, Jamie's aunt spoke, thanking the community for all of their support and saying Jamie will probably have more to say at a later time, but now they want to move forward and begin to heal as a family. Reporting in Barron County, Kristen Barbarisi, CBS 58 News.